welcome to you, Paralympic Winter Games fans. We are back at the Cortina Curling Olympic Stadium. That is the overhead view. Here come the fans. Today, we are going to be watching Korea versus the US, and it is session 5 of the very first mixed doubles for wheelchair curling here at Paralympic Winter Games. And look at that, these teams could not be any closer. They have both played for 1-2. We will be looking in more detail at how they've been getting on. There's the Paralympic flag and the flags of the nations. We are deep into the mixed doubles competition here, the very first one. We will have brand new wheelchair mixed doubles champions in a few days' time. Session 5 out of 7. 8 teams in this competition, 8 countries qualified at the end of the round robin when all teams have played each other. The top 4 teams will qualify for semi-finals. Team 1 will play Team 4, 2 plays 3, and then we will have the medal matches, and truly this competition still anyone's. Here are the teams that we will be watching today. Wearing the dark blue uniforms, throwing red stones from Republic of Korea. We have Baek Haejin on the right of your screen and her teammate Lee Hong-suk. Here's how they're doing so far. 2 wins, 2 losses. As we said, this competition is so tight. Any of the teams can beat anyone else. And as the inaugural event, nobody defending the title. So we'll have brand new champions, and could they be the team from the US? On the left of your screen, that is Laura Dwyer and her teammate Stephen Empt. He typically goes by Steve, and a similar journey for the US so far. 2 wins, 2 losses, and a lot of close games. I fancy we will be in for another one here in session 5. See the players take to the ice. Just see them just literally cooling their wheels, just so that the wheels don't get stuck in the ice from being a different temperature. Different players do that as well. You just stand on the ice, let your shoes get to the same sort of temperature. Look how close that is. China at the top, starting to pull away a little bit, but still all to play for all the teams here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all in second place, 2 of whom we are watching today. Here is the coach for the Korean team, that's Park Kil-woo. And at the other end, there's the coach for the US, that is Pete Alice. Sometimes see on the coaches bench, I think most of the teams, they have additional coach that can be an assistant coach or sometimes the national coach. What we don't have here in mixed doubles, we don't have any alternate players. Kind of makes sense, you would be pretty much bringing an entire spare team. Starting us off then in session 5, it will be Baek Haejin. You may have watched some of the mixed doubles already, either here at Paralympic Winter Games or maybe a couple of weeks ago at Olympic Games. So you will know that the rules are slightly different compared with the traditional 4-person rules. And we have the 4-person format here at Paralympic Winter Games as well. The 2 schedules overlap each other In mixed doubles here, only 2 people in the team.
Yes,
one
from the
man, one
I will
woman.
be not ready yet. And then you will have time. 3-5.
2 stones are already in place when we start throwing. Each team throws 5 stones between them. One team member throws stones 1 and 5, and teammate throws stones 2, 3, and 4. You can switch positions whenever you want. We've seen that happen a couple of times. You can switch positions every end if you wish to. You don't see it that often, but it is possible.
Yeah.
Both the ladies then throwing 1 and 5 at the start of this game. And Lee Hong-suk starting the game throwing 2, 3, and 4 stones.
What's that?
I want to open it.
This looks nice.
This one's 3-3 down 2.
Evans. That's what you call a perfect start.
The tail.
Yeah?
Tail, yeah. Go right away, why not?
This way.
Yep.
I agree with Steve Empt on this one.
Think that's too much? Get it done.
You do have free guard zone also in mixed doubles. You can't move guards immediately. And in mixed doubles, you can't move any stone out of play. You can move it around, but not out of play until 3 stones have already been thrown. Steve Empt is the 4th and final player on the ice to throw. And that means you can play takeouts now. You can remove stones from play. Oh dear, that's not at all what he wanted. He's kind of done neither one nor the other. With that shot, you either want to really break apart and open up the centre, or you want to drive it really directly back onto those stones in the house. And he's not quite cleared the space he was looking for. Early pressure from Korea here. Now this Korean team, a little bit of an unknown quantity here. Korean wheelchair curling, very strong, very stable throughout the wheelchair game, really since its inception. They have a lot of strength and depth, Korean wheelchair curling. So I'm not surprised to see
I like 10 here.
2 really nice throwers here. But yeah, a bit of an unknown quantity. It was Korea who won gold at the World Mixed Doubles Wheelchair competition in 2024, but that wasn't this team. That was a different Korean team. And it's really the first outing at this level for the Korean duo at Paralympic Winter Games here. Gosh, what a debut they are making for themselves. Steve Empt doesn't like the look of this one.
Push it out.
All right.
Here we go.
One, he's overcorrected his first stone,
Still didn't curl much, do to Laura.
curling a bit too much.
Wide, but still didn't curl much.
His next stone, curling a bit too little. Like Goldilocks, he's looking for a stone that curls just right. And early trouble here for the US. And in contrast, the Korean duo straight into their throwing. The perfect throw from Baek Haejin with her first shot, and following that up with some lovely shooting from her teammate Lee Hong-suk. That's travelled on a little bit further than they want. It is close to the centre.
Yeah, I think so.
But what they really wanted with that stone was to block the path to the centre.
This one's down. This one's down to here, though.
You don't always want to just keep piling stones towards the middle there.
Less. Less.
That stone from Lee Hong-suk. Lee Yong-suk. Yeah, he really wanted that to block the path rather than putting another stone right towards the middle. And that does give Steve Empt a chance to get his team out of a pickle. Has he found that sweet spot between over curling and under curling?
Come on, Steve. Come on, Steve.
Come on, Steve, he says, yes.
Come on, Steve.
Bit of a loose start for the US here. That was not the tolerance for that shot.
약간 누나 센터는 살짝 안쪽으로 타는 느낌이에요.
Check it off. Same weight. Those two are the same weight exactly.
The saving grace is that it is the US who has the last stone, the little hammer next to the American flag there. That tells us that they are bringing down the hammer. They have the last stone in this first end. You win this with your draw shot challenge. So both teams have short practice before the game just to get a feel for the ice. At the conclusion of your practice, one teammate throws a stone clockwise towards the centre, one team throws the stone anti-clockwise towards the centre, and cumulatively, whichever team is closest to the centre, they win last stone advantage in the first end.
You like the draw, you like the hit?
And with how this first end's gone, I'm somewhat surprised that it wasn't Korea.
Sure.
Out-turn draw.
All right.
I don't like this port.
3-5.
지금 다 보일 것 같긴 한데 제가 너무 치면은
3-5.
Spectacular start from the Korean
Laura.
here. Putting big pressure on Laura Dwyer's final throw already in this first end.
LSD.
I got through the port if you want it.
What do you like?
You want me to hit something or draw? I
think you
believe
should
in the
hit
draw,
something.
but the hit's there.
Draw.
Okay.
I think you should hit something, but I'm a
3-5.
foot player. I'm not a
3-5.
wheelchair user. And shots in wheelchair curling, and we'll talk a lot about this during the game, shots in wheelchair curling have a higher degree of difficulty. The same shot for Laura Dwyer and the same shot for me. It's a higher degree of difficulty for Laura Dwyer because, as we quickly notice in wheelchair curling, you don't have people for sweeping. You don't have sweepers. Once you release that stone,
Slow it down then.
you can't affect it.
Ain't gonna go.
And also, Laura Dwyer is only using upper
Tell me
body
time
strength,
so I know.
whereas I'm using
Right.
leg drive. It's a bad miss for her there. That's a pity.
Let's go. Go for 5.
Yeah.
Deserve that.
That is going to be a big opening score of 3 to Korea, and that's a steal. That means they got points even though they didn't have last stone. Korea will be delighted with that, and US, we need to get into this game quickly. After the first end, it's Korea 3, US 0.
Okay. Get right back.
New game.
We got hammer. Yeah. Get a hammer. Get a deuce back. We're fine. All right. 1, 2, 3.
던지면 안쪽을 타거든요. 그래서 이제 가단다고 하니까 안쪽을 이렇게 탄 거예요. 그래서 그 얘기 듣고 이제 저도 바꾸는 게 있는 거라서.
Blistering opening from the Korean pair here. 2 shots straight into the centre. A third one finding its way, successfully blocking that path, forcing the US to use a new path on the ice. And Laura Dwyer coming up short with her last throw. So that means it is Korea who take an early lead, 3 points to 0.
I know I was extremely wide, but I still think it was great.
Now, the team that got points in the previous end, they give last stone back to the team who didn't get points. even though the US, they started with hammer, the last stone, but it was Korea who got points, and that means the US keeps hammer for the second end.
잡아줘.
There's the confirmation. Big steal of 3 points to Korea in that first end. They will be looking for same again, please. But we heard Steve Empt saying, let's just try and get a deuce, let's try and get 2 points, and then we're straight back in the game. He's absolutely correct.
안쪽 탔어.
It's very early to hit the panic button, and in fact, they do have an early mistake from Korea here in the second end.
3-7.
What's my number?
3-7.
3-7.
You can see behind Laura Dwyer there, that is one of our many ice player assistants. We're used to seeing our IPAs sprinkled over the ice during the wheelchair game, managing the stones. They keep the stones in order, they clean the stone, put the stone in front of the player, and here at the playing end, they remove stones from play as needed. That's much better from Laura Dwyer.
영사 이쪽
That's more like it.
이거 이쪽 7이고.
You have time on hers? I have 13 on hers.
Yeah.
I still believe you.
2-6.
That's a much better start from the US. That will steady their nerves.
Let's see. Here we go.
And there he is again, our ice player assistant. This is a new role in our new discipline. First time for mixed doubles for wheelchair curlers. And it depends how you and your teammate like to play. We've seen other teams where teammate still positions themselves behind you, and once you put your brakes on, teammate holds your wheels so that you don't slip backwards when you're throwing. But another option, which we see most of the teams doing, is your IPA. They will come, and once you're positioned, ready to throw, your IPA, they will hold on to your wheels, support the chair to make sure you don't slip backwards when you're delivering.
Stop
And
4,
I've
Laura.
done that role, and
Just top 4.
you have to concentrate.
14.
You don't want to disturb a player while they're setting up.
You want more
You don't
than
want to
that?
disrupt their routine.
Good. Right in the middle.
So a big thank you to our ice
14.
player assistants
Middle?
for making the game run so smoothly.
Start work now. Start working now.
Start working now, says Steve Empt. He means
Get there.
asking the stone to just grab the curl.
Get there.
The weight's definitely there. This looks really nice. This is more like it from the US. Bit of a
14-1.
loosey-goosey first end, but much better now in this second end.
Too much.
The only issue is that all those 3 yellow stones quite close together. Here comes that stone from Steve Empt.
바깥쪽 맞는 게 제일 좋아.
It's a lovely placement.
이거 절대 탈퇴하면 안 돼.
The closer your stones are together, the easier it is to remove multiple stones with just one throw. And I don't speak Korean, but I imagine that is what Lee Hong-suk is attempting with this throw.
한번 더.
He's got all of them moving.
Nice shot.
As we said, a spectacular debut for this pair. Really their first
Well, that's
outing
it, wait.
at this kind of level. And Steve Empt also congratulating his
What
opponent.
about
Nice
this
shot,
side?
we heard
Push
him
this
say.
over? I don't want to get under there, though.
That's very common in
This
curling.
is a jam.
This corner freeze on it.
On this side?
Either one, yep.
This side. Here. You got it.
Not
Take 2
strange
feet
in
off
curling
your
at all
last
that
one.
you'll hear your opposition congratulate, or at the very least acknowledge a nice shot. And Steve Emp, the first to acknowledge that lovely shot from his opposition, Lee Hong-suk. Lee Hong-suk got all 3 yellows moving, but there is one still there. And important, if US wants to try to score 2 points here, important to just keep yellows in play.
Now go.
Set
Now
up some
go.
angles, finish it off later. Ooh,
okay.
that's taken a happy redirection.
It's all right.
And that's a pretty nice setup there.
누가 1번이 했나?
우리가 1번인데
Tap her right on the nose.
둘에 쓰는 게 제일 좋아.
That's what Lee Hong-suk,
Oh, you like the nose?
excuse me, Lee Yong-suk
I
is
was
looking at
thinking
from the
off
throwing
nose,
end.
More like angle.
In turn 12.
It is red who are still closest to centre, but that yellow just thrown by Steve Emp, that's now in a dangerous position. You can use that yellow to punch it forward closer to centre, punch it onto other stones, and difficult for Korea to remove that yellow
동동아
stone
넓게 봐야
without
돼.
crashing into something else.
Yeah, come with a 12.
Yeah, it's gonna overcurl here.
Yep.
But look at it from there.
Yeah.
And that stone just slightly over curling.
Because you're on this yellow, yeah?
If I could have given Lee Yong-suk a couple of sweepers there, I'm sure they could have held the line on that stone, but that's why every shot in wheelchair curling has a higher degree of difficulty than in foot curling, because you don't have sweepers to help.
그냥 브러쉬 안쪽이 아니라 그냥 스톤 하나만 이렇게 파고
Go a little less.
내가
12.
이걸 잡으면 아웃으로 나가거든.
There?
그거를 계속 생각해. 아, 저 가든
Steve
go.
Emp, he can see that yellow that he just threw previously, and now he can use it, and that's why Korea wanted to try to block that path. It's the yellow stone out front that's the danger. Let's see how dangerous. Oh, nice smooth action from Steve Emp. Again, using only upper body strength, wheelchair players.
It's a little lean, but it's gonna go.
As foot players use
Chip it out of the way.
leg drive.
Chip it out of the way.
12 on the top yellow.
Wasn't as heavy as he needed for that shot though, Steve Emp. That stone just coming up short. And
나
that's
똑같이 열 잡아줘요.
Nose.
a let off for
Push
Korea
back.
there.
너 안 잡았어, 아웃
Yellow that way.
잡았어.
Doable. Ow.
Down.
No, in
Have them.
and
What
12
was the time?
Ow.
Maybe
아,
12 when you got there.
A second chance to block the path then. And put pressure on Laura Dwyer's final throw again. Final throw of the second end for Bayek Haijin. He just wants to protect that red that's already closest to centre. Korea are +3. They don't need to take risks. They don't need to score more points at the moment. They just want to stop the US getting points, and she's done that beautifully.
How do I got it? It's gotta get around that yellow.
10. Pick it out.
Oh, pick out the red.
센터에서 가드를
Okay.
하는데
ten.
센터에서
You got it.
자꾸 안쪽을 찬다고 해서 그게 조금 부담스러워서 그냥 휠체어 라인을
This is a new rule.
용석이가
It used to be you weren't allowed to interact with your coach during a game in any discipline of curling, but you are now. And you'll see the athletes taking advantage of that, just having a check-in with their bench from time to time. And this is a gutsy call from Steve Emp. Laura Dwyer, she can just see just the edge of that red. Just wants to connect at speed with that edge and squirt that red out sideways.
Stay out. Stay out.
Stay out, says Steve Emp.
Stay out.
Don't curl yet. Don't curl yet. Oh,
One red.
that's a pity
One
for
red.
Laura Dwyer, excuse me.
Right.
She was very close. Again, if she'd had a couple of little sweepers to sweep her stone, I'm sure she would have got that. And we need to be very
We haven't shown
respectful
up yet.
that
Let's
in
start
wheelchair curling, every shot is simply more difficult. But it is another steal. It's a
At all
stolen
of our
point.
Fs.
I agree.
Korea scoring
Yep.
without last stone. It is now Korea 4, the US 0.
내가 센터에서 던질게요. 그냥 의도적으로 살짝
밖으로
바깥으로 던질게요.
살짝이
내가
아니라
안쪽으로
한쪽으로
타니까.
세팅도 조금 밖으로 해버리고.
그렇죠. 끝까지.
Much better start for the US in this second end, but look at this for a throw from Lee Yong-suk. He gets all of them moving. 2 yellows get out of play, 1 goes behind T, and the US unable to dig themselves out of that one. Only 8 countries qualify for this inaugural mixed doubles discipline. And truly, being on the roster, being one of those 8 teams here in the mixed doubles, that is a big achievement in itself. 21 countries competed at the last World Championship for wheelchair mixed doubles. Only 8 of those are here. There are medalists from World Championships who did not qualify. So a bit early for panic stations, but yeah, the US, they would love to get on the scoreboard here. After 2 ends, it's Korea 4, US 0.
Yeah, I
여기서 갈
think it's too
시간이
far. I think it needs to go this
없어.
way.
Need to show up.
Deep, back.
No, I think it needs to go this way. I think it's too far back. I think it needs to go this way.
Deep, back.
I disagree with you.
Fighting about something. Look,
Yeah.
they're talking about the blue band.
You're looking
It's the
straight
blue-
down.
In or out?
Yeah, I'll give it a little love tap for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
The 2 players just agreeing, yes,
you.
that's where the placed stones should be. Not contentious at all. Just looking down from the top saying, yep, that's where it needs to be placed. Placed in the same spot every time per game. The exact positioning of the stone out front, that can vary between games, but it does not vary during a game unless we have power play. Both teams have 1 power play. And we typically see them using that later on in the later ends.
조금 셌네.
지금 나올 때부터 셌어요.
You and me, let's go now.
3-5.
3-5.
Still plenty of ends left for the US. We play 6 ends in mixed doubles. Excuse me, we play 8 ends in mixed doubles. If scores are tied after 8 ends,
Right on.
then we will have an extra end. We must have a winner. In some formats,
Let's move
You
now.
can
let's move.
have
Let's move. Let's move.
a draw
2-8.
at the round robin stage. But not here at Paralympic Winter Games. We have a winner, a clear winner of each game. And if needed, we play an extra end. But you don't have to save up time
I can't.
just in case an extra end is coming. If we
And
get
use
to
the
extra
advantage
end,
of her error
the clock
and
resets.
Be high, just so 14.
Yeah.
And usable.
And that's all taken care of. So first things first, we have 8 ends of regulation time.
웨이트 좋아?
No.
And this man
Yeah, I think we peel again.
is barely putting a shot wrong out there.
You do that.
Let's peel. Let's peel.
Wherever
So,
these
I mean,
two
we're
have been
more than one
hiding.
here.
They
Let's
have been
open it up.
practicing curling. As we said, Korea with a strong and lengthy record in wheelchair curling. They have also been one of the stalwarts of the game, really since the beginning for wheelchair curling. So not surprising that they have a whole bunch of players who are very talented. And always exciting to see new teams coming through, new teams performing at the highest level. And this Korean team, they have taken to Paralympic Winter Games arena like ducks to water or hurlers to ice. And same idea as we've seen before from Steve Empt, that stone out front not helping the US. It's really just in their way, so he just wants to remove that.
I mean, it's welded on the button.
You have to release that rock.
To worry about.
You have to tap the red one and release the one in the back.
That kind of shot, that moving the guards, clearing the guards out of play, really. That shot is particularly more difficult in the wheelchair game. Because, as we said, nobody to sweep your stone. Once that stone's released, you can't affect either the line or you can't pull it any further if it's slowing down a bit. And of course, also, the wheelchair players using upper body strength only, not leg drive. And more difficult to throw a big weight only with upper body strength rather than with the leg drive. So that's a particularly higher degree of difficulty removing guards in the wheelchair game. Nevertheless, at the club level, it's extremely inclusive for wheelchair players. So if you're a wheelchair user, or you have a relative or colleague who's a wheelchair user,
12-5.
you can join right in at the club. You don't need any adjustment to your day-to-day chair. You can see a few of the folks here that they maybe have an extra handle or a grip just to steady themselves while throwing.
Yep.
But you don't need that to begin. You don't need any adjustment to your day-to-day chair. You don't need your own delivery stick. The club would have one that you can use. And you don't even need a dedicated wheelchair curling club. I know a couple of people, they are the only wheelchair player at their curling club. And at the club level, it's absolutely fine for everyone to play together. So wheelchair players can play with and against foot players. That's more like it in the US. For example, my club team, it would not even be news if I told them that I had to miss a game and one of our wheelchair colleagues was going to play instead of me. That's so usual, it's not even worthy of a comment. So it's a particularly inclusive activity. That's more like it from the US. That was the coach's advice, was to just move the stones behind that red. Try to give themselves a little bit more space to do something about that red later.
So, keyword finishes. She's brilliant for inside of the yellow, so.
Well, that's what he's trying to do.
He comes up light.
That's occasion for his hand.
Yes. Look at the intern to the red.
Yeah,
That's what the players are looking at. The playing end. And our ice player assistant just supporting Lee Young-suk. Ooh, I think that's about his first mistake in the game. But the US need to really take advantage of that now.
Yeah, it's
This
a
Korean
straight draw,
pair.
Laura.
Hardly making a
3-5.
mistake.
3-5.
Stay a bit up or down
Draw right
two?
to it.
Say that again.
Draw right to it. We're good, right? 1-2.
우리 성공이라고
I come down to
이야기를
kids, say we're 1-2, correct?
If you come down, we're 1-2.
Yeah.
앞에
What weight?
비플랜
3-5.
생각하고 던져야지.
Same broom.
No.
그렇게
3-5.
12초 2로 던질 거면
3-5 broom.
LSD.
Okay.
Now, they're not talking in code, although it definitely sounds like it. There are
13-5.
a lot of number talk in curling. And we can talk about that during the game. LSD, not what you think. That is last shot draw. And we did speak about that right at the beginning. The last shot draw, that happens at the conclusion of practice session.
Stay straight.
One stone curling either direction, cumulatively. Whoever's closest gets last stone advantage.
약해도 여기
But it's not only important for this game. Your cumulative last stone draw
No.
contributes to your draw shot challenge
여기까지.
over all 7 round-robin games for you. And if teams are tied and there is no other way to separate them, the team with superior draw shot challenge overall throughout the round-robin, it is they who will progress. So it's well worth getting your draw shot challenge good
괜찮아요?
after your practice sessions before your
너무 많은
games.
것 같아서 8발
8발.
Korea then, they really just want to block that yellow in. A score of 1 yellow, that's fine for Korea. They don't mind giving up a score of 1 yellow. That's sensible play. They don't need to take any risks to do anything about that yellow.
자,
많이 떨어지고 많이
Draw
떨어지고
here and touch the red.
Draw here.
Draw here
Can't
and
touch
touch
no,
the
you
red.
gotta touch yellow.
좀 가져간다
We
그래서
can't do any harm.
좀
We're not
더
gonna lose
잡으려고
shot.
했던 건데.
All right, so we get here enough, we might be able to get 2 out of it.
If I touch the red, it's okay too.
여기
Yeah, but if, no, you don't want to touch the red because it might go red, yellow this way. No, draw right here, Laura.
백이라고
Draw there.
하니까
Okay.
그 프리즈까지
Three, five.
생각을 해가지고 그냥 여덟을 잡은 건데
Pick me up, let's go.
The discussion there between the 2 US players, that tells you how effective that throw was from Baek Haijin. She really just wants to block that yellow and make sure that it's very difficult, if not impossible, for a second yellow to get a point here. And she's done that very well. There is a very tiny space, but as you heard the US players discussing, that space is highly limited. And if you're Korea, giving up 1 yellow point, that's okay. That would make the overall score 4-1. And you,
13-5.
for the first time in the
3-5.
game actually, would
got
have
it.
last stone advantage. But for the sake of good curling, let's wish Laura Dwyer a good stone here.
Good throw.
It's too hot, Steve.
Too hot, says Laura. And that is just going to slip past, but an important
yellow.
score of 1.
1 yellow. 1 yellow.
That is 1 yellow. The teams are agreed,
Okay.
and
Now we
that's
go.
important.
Red or yellow? Did we get 1?
What?
Did we get 1?
Yeah. Hey, we're on board. Let's go.
We're on the board, says Steve Empt, and that's important. That's
You're
state
going to drop
leadership.
this LSD in here. What do you do? In or out? Hey,
Out.
hey, we're on board. Let's go now.
And there's the overall situation. So after 3 ends,
No, 3-4.
it's a score of 1 to the US, but it is Korea still leading, 4 points to 1.
Dial it in.
잘했어 용서가 잘하고 있어 잘하고 있어
Lovely throw from the US to really nail that stone in the center. But a miss from the US gives the Koreans a chance to block that stone in. No more place for a second point to be scored. And that was finally a score of 1 to the US as we go into the fourth end.
Only because it was like 1 minute ago already. Thank you so much.
I think he's got to go that way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you all right with that? Go ahead.
Good job, ice player assistant.
Good. Good.
Good job, Korean fans. They'll be delighted with their team's performance. Our bright new things from Korea. This US team, they're more experienced at the four-person traditional rules curling and the mixed doubles discipline. They have played in the most recent World Championships in 2025, finishing 9th together. And they've got heaps of experience in the four-person game, playing at the last 3 World Championships and finishing 11th, 9th and 6th.
Gotta go. 3-9.
Not there.
3-0.
So right there, you can see what a difference it makes
T-line's 3-0 right now.
아웃만 잡아줘.
for both teams, actually.
That was my 13.5, but I didn't
A lot
touch
of
my
pressure
hand.
on that first stone for
Okay,
both
chance.
teams, whether you're throwing
That was going to be perfect. You know, man. Hold on.
first stone or last stone.
All right, pick me up. Hey, choose one.
If you make that first shot, you can force the other team to just spend the rest of the end trying to dig it out.
Let's go right now. Main side.
And if you don't make that first shot, it could be you trying to dig out the first shot from the opposition.
아,
Yep.
Neither shot finding its target, though.
그러다 보니까 아까쯤에 여기도 계속 그랬거든?
네, 아까 타요.
열 잡아야 될 것 같은데 생각보다 많이 떨어져.
Here we go, Steve, right here. You and me.
And the little graphic on our screen there, in the bottom of the screen, you can see the hammer for the first time in the game is next to the Korean flag. It's Korea who will be trying to set up an end, just try to get Korean stones in play, try to get mistakes from the US.
Good line.
And there are a couple of ways of defending against
Get up in there.
an attack from Korea.
Keep walking.
One of them is to remove Korean stones,
Get there.
Now stop.
Get
and one of
there.
them is more like this.
Get there. Let's go, Laura.
Such a hype man, Steve Empt. Loads of experience in this wheelchair game. He's really been a stalwart for a great number of years now.
용서가 2초치.
And this is how you defend against a Korean attack, is you attack better.
웨이트가 살짝 높으면 돼. 너 거 안 떨어지는 거야, 첫 번째 스톤.
And a lovely throw from Steve Empt there. Really just cutting down the space that Korea can now use to try to score.
웨이트만.
And attack being the best form of defence. That is what we will be seeing from the US. They're still 3 points behind, and it's Korea with last stone. And that man, Lee Yong-suk, goodness me, he has that weight in his pocket.
Go that same
He's only
right.
had one bad throw all game so far. And the US then with no choice. They don't want to let Korea really get any further ahead here. We're still quite early. We're still in the first half, but we're approaching the halfway point. And the US, they would really prefer to score here. Really, a worst case would be giving Korea 1 point. But yeah, the US would much rather score here, and that's why we will see them using attack as the best form of defense and try to put themselves in the scoring position instead.
That was straighter?
Same way, straighter.
Brave try from Stevent, but not quite curling enough.
앞에까지 서도 되는 거죠. 앞에까지 서도 되는 거죠.
Doing something over here?
이 노란
like doing something over here?
들어와주는 게 좋아.
Pardon me?
많이 줄이지 마. 3초 3.
What are you trying to do there? Get to the nose of that?
It's hard to overstate how precise these shots need
You
to
get into the
be.
inside of it, and then
I know plenty of people who are foot players who can use leg drive. They have 2 sweepers to help their stone along the way, and they wouldn't be any more accurate than what we're seeing out there. It's really precision shots that are required here. And our wheelchair players obviously not having any sweepers. This man in the picture, kind of controlling the game all on his own at the moment. And really setting it up for his teammate Baek Haejin to just finish off with her final throws. His stones really seeming to just grab that curl towards the end.
We got to get
Yeah,
all that
big
out.
thumbs up from the
do you
Korean
wanna do?
coach.
지금 빨간 노란 거하고 얼마큼 강하게
Yes, come over
떨어져 있어요.
here so I can tell you how great you are, please.
these are too close to squirt this way.
We got to open up this so we can get to it. We
Yeah,
can do
not a
this.
big weight.
Can
He
you get
just
in
wants
here?
to
Never.
push that yellow a bit, but it's now
I mean,
it's
if I get
red
to
line
this right
too.
here, I could do something.
Can't
And
get
if
to
we're
that.
tight, what's that?
Get to the top. Get to the.
We get rid of
7
one of them.
o'clock.
And if not, then I peel the top one.
What's the plan here?
We just got to blow up all those yellows. We got to get rid of everything.
So the nose on
Either
this.
that or peel the red.
Let's do something with this. Maybe it'll squirt on. See what you think down there.
Come with the intern on the red. You might get more action there.
The US team then discussing, okay, we need to make some space out front. And how shall we do it? The advantage of playing onto those yellows is that you are playing yellow. So if you can use one or more of those yellows out front, if you can get those to squirt backwards onto the reds, then you could get a yellow in a good position.
Where do you want the broom, Steve?
The advantage of going for the red is that that is currently the shot that is doing you the most damage, is that red guard out front. So you're less likely to be sitting in a great position after this stone, but you are more likely to give yourself a chance with your final throw. I think this is the right decision. Well, they've changed the angles. They've opened up the clockwise handle.
It's like. It just feels like a lot of dicking around.
센터 괜찮겠어? 휠체어 안 써도 되겠어?
So definitely more space for teammate Laura Dwyer
해도 돼.
to throw her
그냥 한번
final
해볼게요.
shot. But unfortunately, yes, that means there's more space for Korea to get some more stones in play as well.
용서가 들어와도 돼. 가드가 1번.
Both of these countries, Korea and the US, they have teams in both wheelchair curling competitions, the mixed doubles and the 4-person format.
너무 룸이야.
And
완전
not all
여기.
countries do. There are some big countries missing or didn't qualify from, rather, for this mixed doubles, the inaugural event. We do not have a team from Canada or Sweden or Norway. They've all won medals at World Championships in mixed doubles, but they did not qualify for this 8-team roster, and that just shows you how competitive this new discipline is. I like that throw very much from Lee Yong-suk. Why is that a good throw? A couple of reasons. He is, yeah, he has really closed that gap that the US created towards the centre.
12.
괜찮아. 어차피.
And there was no need for that stone
센터 쓰니까 이
안쪽
돌이
to go any
안쪽으로
closer to the
이게
centre.
이게 턱이 있는 것 같이 이렇게 안쪽으로 와야 돼.
Korea are 4-1 ahead. They're already +3. There are 2 reds closest to the centre just now. And that's why the best idea was to simply block the US from having an easier shot. Curl, says
More.
Steve Empt.
More.
She's certainly met that yellow. Oh, again, a brave throw from Laura Dwyer. She is not a million miles from making these really difficult shots. She's looking at so many stones
That's all we had.
with her final throws here.
To the court and
방금 상대 몇 초였어?
Yeah.
but lose maybe the back and who knows what.
And I feel for her.
The yellow rays too, but same thing. I wonder if I can go to the bathroom
She's
now.
really
I have to wait.
close to making these shots.
I mean, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom? Can I leave and go to the bathroom?
Important for the US then is not to let their confidence drop and just keep sticking to their task end by end.
아홉.
아. 조금만 줄여줘.
Yeah, we had that before.
I have to go inside.
But it is Korea. They are lying 2 red points already. Not easy, actually, for Baek Haejin to get a 3rd point in there. With how much these stones are curling, you need quite a wide gap up front to sneak another stone in.
좀만 더 떨어져. 좀만 더.
Ah, she wants to promote it. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. What a shot from Baek Haejin. That is 3 red.
Three. What?
Well,
Three.
proving me wrong in very sophisticated fashion. Baek Haejin
줄여야지.
just promoting her own stone at the front of the rings there
Nice shot.
with perfect weight. And again, we hear Steve Empt congratulating his opponent. He's the first one to say, nice shot there, and really mean it. Golly. Bonus there for Korea. Big round of applause from their coach. I am not surprised. This is a very strong performance from them. At the half-time, after 4 ends, it's Korea 7, US
깨지면 안
1.
돼. 이거밖에 없어. 맞죠? 여기 막.
일로 좀 와라. 일로 좀 와라. 저기 사람들 지나가야 되니까 일로 와. 일로 넘어가. 갔다 올래? 굿샷 누나. 아이.
Yeah, big smiles for the Korean team, big smiles for the Korean fans. What a performance from their bright new team. And the US, yeah, they need to not let their confidence dip.
Breathe, relax.
End by end, stone by
A lot
stone.
better than this.
They will have last stone advantage in the 5th end.
That's generous. That's generous.
And end by end, just trying to get something on the board each end.
Take advantage of it.
The story of the first half was truly everything is coming up Korean. Both Korean players doing very well at finding that T weight, so exactly the right speed of the stone to land in the centre. And the T line, that thin horizontal line. And this man in front of you, Lee Yong-suk, who's a one-man army out there. He's hardly put a stone wrong. And really setting up his teammate there, Baek Haejin. She's been finishing off nicely. The US just not quite finding consistent weight. And they're playing nice shots like that. Important score of 1 there in the third end, but they're not quite managing to be consistent with their good shot making. And look at this for a finale at the half-time from Bayek Rejin. Yeah, I thought that gap was a little bit tight, and Indisha just punches her own red stone forward at perfect weight. And a dominant performance from the Koreans. Their halftime talk will surely be, keep doing that, please. And reflected in the score, it is Korea 7, US 1. And really reflected in the accuracy as well. Korea really just out-counting the US team at the moment. And very much making key shots when it counts as well. When Korea have a chance to capitalise on a mistake or a chance to capitalise on a different opportunity, they're really taking it. So plenty for the US to cheer about, but the team needs to keep that confidence. Don't let their heads go down. Let's have a nice steady start in the 6th end. Let's really work hard to try to put 2 on the board. And then they can easily find themselves back into this game. Fans all smiles in this wonderful old stadium. It was built for the 1956 Olympic Winter Games. It used to be fully open on one side, and the view was of the Dolomite Mountains in the background. And in those days, it was the skating that was held in the stadium. It's well and truly become curling's home in the past few weeks for Paralympic Winter Games and Olympic Winter Games.
11일까지 쭉 가자고.
11월?
11일.
좋아요, 좋아요. 저도 끝까지 가요.
저도 아니 끝까지 가야죠.
오늘 11일까지.
Contrasting body language for the two teams there.
Good to go? We're going to switch.
Okay.
Which way are you going to throw the power play?
This side.
Power play right now?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just like,
Right,
don't worry
you're a
about the
power
score.
play coming?
Just start making shots.
String some together.
First shot.
First one,
Weights.
you got a perfect.
the
you know
US
what you're
coach.
doing.
You
First
intern
one,
draw.
you
Get me an intern draw. We'll
Drawing
draw
a
it on
similar
that one.
conclusion to us
Are we
from our
switching too, right?
vantage point.
Yes.
They're just not quite
We are.
playing 5 good shots in a row here. That is the view of Cortina up in the mountains. If you can come join us, I think there are still a few tickets left. You may be lucky. There's still loads of curling to watch. And that's the situation going into the second half of our featured game today. It is Korea who really have been dominant in the first half. And it is 7-1. They lead over the US. I thought we heard someone talking about a power play. The little yellow box on the scoreboard and the placement of the stones to the side instead of on the centre. tells us that the US have very sensibly called power play. What does that mean? The setup of the stones there on the side, instead of in the centre, that is an extra aggressive setup. And the power play is designed with this extra aggressive setup. It is designed to facilitate the team who's called power play, in this case the US. It is designed to help them score more than 1 point. And how does it do that? How is that stone placement?
Now let's come around that center, Laura.
How is that
Which way you want to come?
better
Turn, yep.
for scoring more than 1 point? Well, as we've seen, if
No, I
both
go here
teams are
first because it's safe, and then get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
if both teams are playing towards the centre can get blocked up fairly quickly. And quite often, there just isn't space to get a second point. If you do it the other way, if you play stones away from the centre, then if you get it correct, by the time you have your last stone, the final say of the end, the idea is that the centre is free. So you have 1 point or more, sitting more towards the side of the rings. And with your final throw, you put a stone right in the centre, which
A lot of
hopefully
rotations on that.
is free. And that's why the
come around
power
that
play
next
is
time.
the power play setup, the setting of those stones.
A lot of
That's why
rotations on that.
it's more aggressive than having the stones towards the centre.
It was more than.
It's designed to help the team that's called it score more than 1 point.
See if I can.
There are different ways of trying to defend against a power play. So we've discussed the US objective. Their objective is to score more than 1 point here. Therefore, Korea's objective is to try to prevent the US from scoring more than 1 point. Korea has a big cushion there, +6, so they don't need to play too aggressive. They don't need to take risks.
괜찮아. 잘했어.
And that's a bit of a half shot from
What do you
Korea.
like,
I like coming right here.
It's still behind the tee.
We still got to freeze on stuff, Laura. We can't leave stuff up. Come right here.
You don't want me to hide under this one?
No.
Okay, I got the number. That was 12-8.
Yes, I'll turn draw. I'll turn draw.
Let's
While we
go.
were
하나 정도.
talking a bit
You got
at the
it.
start of this end, just about the setup of power play,
13.
why power play was introduced to mixed doubles. I didn't have a chance to say what a marvellous first throw that was from Baek Haejin. That is one way of very quickly trying to neutralise the threat of power play, is to move that side guard, a corner guard we call it. It's guarding the corner of the sheet.
Out.
You will hear curlers talking about corners a lot, even though the stones obviously don't have corners and neither do the rings.
Not that.
2-5.
Are we on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Important at this stage, we've still got several stones to throw, and important at this stage is just to keep yellows in play. You don't have to be closest to centre after every throw. Important is that you're planning the end. And that's when the analogy of chess on ice becomes important. You don't have to be winning or closest to centre all the time.
8조 후반 괜찮아.
What you're trying to do is get a mistake from your opposition and then capitalise on that. If your opposition refuses to make a
떨어져줘야
mistake,
돼.
you cannot score more than 1.
좀만 더 떨어져라. 좀만 더. 아, 잘했어.
Ooh, just catching enough of that yellow to remove it.
Can I hit the top one and roll under?
Hit it here.
That is
Yeah.
another way of
Love it.
neutralising power play, is just trying to remove opposition stones. You can either attack better, get your stones closest to centre, or you can just remove opposition stones, and that is by far the most sensible tactic
9
for
or
Korea.
9-5, Steve.
9. 9-5 is fine.
9-5.
They're +6. The conservative approach is definitely the most sensible. The US, in contrast, they have no choice. They must
9-5.
play aggressive tactics from here in. They urgently need to get a couple more points back on the scoreboard, give themselves a chance of closing this gap.
Curl, 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 curl.
Just a curl.
Curl, 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 says Steve Empt. Oh my goodness. That is hardly possible to get a stone through that gap.
웨이트 괜찮아. 8초반 괜찮아.
9-6, great way.
And that's a pity for Laura Dwyer.
좀 줄여줄까?
괜찮아.
Kind of nothing working out very well for the US during this game, unfortunately.
그게 센터야.
Everything working for Korea. This is often the case. I quite often say, when you're up, you're up. That means when you're already ahead,
떨어져야 돼.
everything suddenly becomes easier. Everything works out beautifully. Ooh. I thought for a
괜찮아,
second
잘했어.
that the Young-suk had maybe found that
Freeze here.
same little gap.
2-7.
I heard Steve Empt saying freeze here. So freeze, that means
12-7.
you want to come right up to those reds and no more. You don't really want to move those reds.
Line the T-line.
You want to land your stone right in front of it.
Right on. Work. Come on. Come on.
Laura Dwyer can get
Come on.
a good freeze here. She can land her
Come
yellow
on.
right in front of that red.
2-5. No bump. No bump. No.
Just needs to
No.
stop, just needs to stop,
No.
just needs to stop. Again,
I'm going.
fine effort from Laura Dwyer. The freeze is the most difficult shot that one can call because, as we said,
맞는 게
you
1번.
want your stone to stop exactly in front of the other one. You don't want it a couple centimetres too long, a couple centimetres too short, a couple centimetres left or right. It has to be absolutely precise.
조금 더.
That's the most difficult shot, even for foot players who have sweepers to help. And again, more difficult here in the wheelchair
조금만
game
더
because
잡아야
you
돼.
don't have sweepers to help. The US team then needs to cross their fingers a little bit. Hope for a mistake or a half shot from Korea, give them a chance to score 2. Korea again just being very conservative. If they can remove US points, they're really minimising the chance. And that is a half shot.
좀 더 잡아야 될 것
더
같아.
잡아야 되겠다.
The idea was to remove that yellow, but it's still hanging around.
떨어지는 게 보이는데?
Just curling a little bit too much, that red, and instead of
더 잡아야 될 것 같아.
더 잡아야 돼.
popping that yellow on the nose straight out the back, it catches it at an angle, leaves the yellow lying around, and this is the chance that the US needs to take. We need to hit this red and stick the yellow.
Stay there.
Stay there. Don't curl too much. Don't curl too much. Oh, that is heartbreaking. Yeah, the US just they're not quite reading the ice, and by that I mean
Done 7-7.
I'm not sure if they're putting the brush in the right place.
저 센터로 던져서
조금 더 잡아야 될 것 같아요.
Aim for the brush.
센터로 던져가지고.
Brush plus curl equals target.
생각을 했는데 센터니까 괜찮겠지 했는데
What a chance for the US, but it is another steal. A point for South Korea without last stone. They are now 8-1 ahead after 5 ends.
너 어떤 게 편해? 테이크가 편하면
Here was the final throw from Baek Haejin. First one curling a little bit too much as well. And leaving an opportunity. And yeah, frustration for Steve Emps there. The US really struggling in this game. They have won 2 games already. Both teams are on 2 wins and 2 losses. But the US really struggling a bit today. I'm not sure if they're putting the brush maybe not quite in the right place, or if maybe they're throwing accuracy towards the brush. I don't know if that's what's causing them difficulty. But they really have a bit of a mountain to climb to get this game back. A dominant performance from Korea. After 5 ends, it is Korea leading 8 points to 1. I hesitate to say that having the ice player assistant help you, I hesitate to say that adds a degree of difficulty, but it is an aspect of your throwing routine for wheelchair players that, again, foot players don't need. They don't have an assistant. It's just another thing for the wheelchair players to accommodate, to think about. Again, big thank you to our ice player assistants who really keep the games moving here in wheelchair curling.
Same thing. Just cross over top.
Yep.
Your time on that?
12-7. I like 13.
13.
You got it, Steve. Here we go. You and me.
Team Korea
13-2 is fine.
really in pole
13.
position here. They can go full defensive. They don't need to take any risks at all. It's really up to the US to play the aggressive tactics to try to keep stones in play. And as I said, wherever Baek Haejin and Lee Yong-suk have been hiding themselves, it must have had a really good curling rink, because what a spectacular debut this new Korean team are having.
Why am I all of a sudden getting a ton of rotation?
Did you this time? I wasn't watching this time. 13-1.
I'm getting a ton of rotation.
That's a nice shot from the US. Like we said, there have been plenty of nice shots, just struggling a little bit to play 5 nice shots in a row, the US. A little bit inconsistent with their throws today.
좀 짧게 잡아. 내가 2초 후반.
And you can see by the accuracy there of Lee Yong-suk, taking into account the higher degree of difficulty for more than one reason in wheelchair curling. That level of accuracy is very impressive. As I said, at the club, there are plenty of people I know who are foot players. They have sweepers to help, and they would be delighted to be this accurate. And again, it's maybe not quite what he wanted, but he has improved the situation. That yellow is now much more open, and it's behind the tee line. He has hardly wasted a stone, Lee Yong-suk.
Oh, not yet. Sammy.
I think important for the US team is really to just now take this end by end. This game, a bit of a mountain to climb for them. So their best idea is to just take this end by end and concentrate on a strong finish. Concentrate on
포켓이야.
each stone from here.
포켓. 약하지 마.
Lift themselves up. They've not had
2,
a
3.
good run at it today.
3초 하면 돼. 2초 후반.
Important is to, try to finish strong. Try to make accurate stones. Even if this game could be beyond them, let's try to make accurate stones. Let's settle the confidence and bring that forward to the next session. And if you're Korea, in contrast, keep doing this.
세다.
맞고 들어와도 돼. 굿샷.
Another beautiful shot from Lee Young-suk.
You want me to run the top yellow?
Now, 12.
12. I'll hit the broom.
It's very tough to play against this if you're the US. He is just not wasting a single throw. And all the pressure on the US, just trying to neutralise.
Oh, can't
Such consistency from Korea.
wait. 12.
You may have noticed the US switch positions, as we said at the beginning. You can do that whenever you want in mixed doubles. So Laura Dwyer, she started throwing stones 1 and 5. Steve Empt throwing 2, 3 and 4, and they've switched. So now it is Steve Empt throwing stones 1 and 5.
누나가 이쪽에 있는 거 해.
Laura
근데 이게
Dwyer throwing
위험-
2, 3 and 4. I think that was a good
누나가
decision.
먼저 이거 하고 그다음에 누나.
여기야 여기.
Let's just change the energy, change the tempo, change things up a bit. But the consistency of this Korean team, there is the happiest coach in the building, surely. The consistency of this Korean team has been outstanding today.
용서가 묻어도 돼. 약하지 마. 이거 좀 안쪽 탔다.
Lovely throw again, and as usual in this game for Lee Young-suk. That stone does not need to be any closer to the centre than where it is.
성공이잖아. 저거 내가
You can see
잘못했어.
both sides of that centre line,
지금은 무조건
both sides blocked. That means whichever handle you put, whether you want to curl the stone clockwise or
이걸 먼저
anti-clockwise,
해결할 거거든요.
both paths currently
이걸
blocked.
There.
아니야. 이거
Nine.
여기 있는 게 굉장히 좋아. 우리 포지션이 굉장히 좋잖아.
저 상가같이.
And I fancy that Steve Empt will be wanting to try to clear a path. So this stone coming in at speed. And that's exactly what they wanted. That is about as much as they can do in this situation, is just try to clear a path to the centre. That's what Laura Dwyer has done.
근데 프리즈까지 한번 볼게. 어차피 프리즈에도 티 앞이니까.
그러니까 여기까지.
근데
여기
세즈는 안게
빨간
나갈
노란
거야.
거에.
앞에. 그 앞에까지.
Is that what you wanted?
No. No, I wanted to come in and bang that. You know, I mean, the red. Catch the top of this red.
Open it up.
And I'll do the middle one,
I had thought about the running the yellow down in, just open it up for you, but before you put that red, before that.
Oh, that's what definitely would have done that. Yeah.
Then you had me come with that one, and I was.
열이야.
As we saw in the previous end, though,
열.
if you open a path for yourself, you also open a path for your opposition. And the way this Korean team is playing, I imagine that Baek Haejin will take this opportunity to try to block that path again. She just wants that to settle down now. Oh, that's also, you can see, this is crazy level of accuracy.
됐어? 아 그래요? 조금 더 올랐네 생각보다 열다 보니까.
This is
You
third.
can cut him down.
This is third already,
Understand that?
and it's our
This is
hammer.
a
This is last stone.
Correct.
clinical
So-
performance from
If I come with
Korea.
any kind of weight right here, we're going to obviously lose those two. If I nose it,
You'll lose
cut 'em
this
down
and
to
this,
one.
but where does this go?
we got to. That's the only shot we have. Let's cut
Or
him
do you
down
want
to
to
one.
come this way? No, can't get
No.
to it. All right,
I'll turn
explode it.
10.
Why not the
Got to get by
9?
this.
See how it looks? Decide the number when you get there. See if 9 5s to go.
US, then they really have no choice but to just kind of take a run at the pack here. Throw heavy stone.
10.
They want to connect with the stone just
Don't
thrown
let 'em
by
away like that.
Haejin.
No, that's good.
It's a little bit of a Hail Mary shot here, though. I'm not convinced even as good as he can throw it here. I'm not even convinced that's going to move the red enough to get a yellow point. We shall soon find out.
Sandro.
It's on the room, says Laura Dwyer. That's
Not
all
gonna
he
move
can do.
anywhere.
9 4 8.
Oh no.
We're done, Laura. Laura, we're
That
done.
stone just
We're done.
not curling.
Too red.
That is too red, and I think that's going to be game.
아,
We're done. Great game.
Thank you.
Good game. Good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations.
Good drilling. Good shooting.
A gracious concession of the game from the US team to the all-conquering Koreans.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest
With
of
that
the way.
performance, it's almost a little bit
Good game.
difficult to imagine that both of those teams
I will sign it.
were level in the table. Both teams were on 2 wins and 2 losses coming into this session. Such a dominant performance, particularly from that man there. And it is Korea that now go to 3 wins. And if they continue like that, they will have very high hopes of going deeper in this competition. And the US, as we said, they need to not let their heads go down.
Thank you.
They still have 2 wins. There's still 2 sessions left here in the mixed doubles, the very first mixed doubles at Paralympic Winter Games.
Good game. Congrats. Yeah, I'll do it.
And as we saw, the US, the first to congratulate their opposition. Nice shooting, he said. And yeah, the Korean fans must be delighted with that performance. But still 2 games to go. The Koreans will want to take that performance forward with them. And surely, if they play like this, surely they will be able to qualify for the next stages of this competition. Really just twisting the knife out there. Final throw, as it turns out, for this game from Baek Haejin. Nothing the US can do to move it. And the US offering the game. You don't have to play 8 ends if you feel like the game is beyond you. You can offer the game, and that's exactly what has happened. And Yeah, the US really struggling today. The Koreans straight out of the blocks into a 3-0 lead and really just keeping their foot on the gas the entire time. And it is Korea worthy winners, you have to say, with a score of 10 points to 1. But as we said right at the start, that's simply one win or one loss. And that has bounced Korea ahead of that big pile of teams on 2 points, 2 wins. Still some games ongoing, but that has helped their cause enormously. They will be delighted. But the US still in that pack chasing. Still chances for them to make the playoffs.
Thank you.
Both teams coming into this game on 2 wins, but it was the Koreans who really dominated in their performance today. Incredibly solid, incredibly solid end after end. If you wanted any more evidence that wheelie players can play with everyone at the club, this is it. Perfect precision from the Koreans, 3 wins to them.
가드잖아.
Sit.
14.
Stay out. Stay out. One red. One red.
잘하고 있어.
내가 센터에서 던질게. 그냥 의도적으로.
There.
Now stop.
Get there.
No
Get there.
more.
Let's go, Laura.
좀만 더, 좀만 더, 좀만 더.
Three.
Two red.
Three. What? Three.
There. Stay there. Not gonna move anywhere.
9-4-8.
We're done, Laura. Good luck the rest of the way.
Good game. Thank you. Good game.
Good luck. Good game. Good luck the rest of the way.
If I can ask you to give me your full name and country, please.
Laura Dwyer, United States of America.
Steve Emps, United States of America.
Laura, a tough one for you to take there. How difficult is it when you're sort of 4 stones behind after 2 ends?
It's hard. It's hard. It, you know, whether you talk about it or not, it puts pressure on every rock thereafter to make it. And if you don't, or if you're a little off, a little narrow, a little wide, a little heavy, things don't go your way, and the other color piles in there, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, the pressure just builds. It was 2 ends to play, 9 back. Just explain to us why you shook hands after 6 there.
There's no, when you don't have it, you don't have it. Plain and simple. Spirit of the game. Got beat by a very, very good Korea team today. Expect them to move on, but there's days we don't have it. We didn't have it out there today. We didn't deserve to play the last 2 ends. So you tip your cap and move on and get on to the next game.
2 games still left. Semi-finals very much within reach. What do you need to do to reset and push for those?
Regroup. We got to get back to what we do best, and this was not our best, not even close to our best out here today. So, we just got to regroup and come back at it tomorrow. I think we got Italy, the host country, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to about playing Italy in their backyard, I suppose?
Well, definitely love the crowd. The crowd's a fun thing to hear. It's not always when we're curling that we hear that. So at the games, it's fun to have a nice crowd cheering, even if they're cheering for the other team. But like he said, getting together and regrouping to reset, because we know we play better. We have played better. We do play better. We will play better.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you guys being here.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, guys.
Andrew.
Thank you.
IBC English commentary. Sound clean. Stereo left, no mix. Stereo right. IBC English commentary. Sound clean. Stereo left, no mix. Stereo right. IBC International Sound. Clean stereo left mono mid stereo right. IBC International Sound. Clean stereo left mono mid stereo right. IBC International Sound. Clean stereo left mono mid stereo right. IBC International Sound. Clean stereo left mono mid stereo right. IBC International Sound. Clean stereo left mono mid stereo right.